Hey guys, it's your girl, Lashestonixofam. How are you guys doing? Today, I have a fun kind of series coming up for you guys. It's all about the best and the worst of 2017. We're going to be talking about palettes, brands, just makeup in general. And so today I thought we'd start with the best and the worst palettes of 2017. So let's start with what I personally think were the worst palettes of 2017. And I don't really have a lot of worst palettes, to be honest with you. I guess if they were like really, really bad, I just didn't purchase them. But the ones I did purchase in 2017 that I didn't like, I do want to share with you guys just to save you some money. But I have a lot more good palettes this year than I do bad palettes. But anyway, let's start with the worst palettes, in my opinion, of 2017. So the first one I want to talk about is the Too Faced Sweet Peach palette. You guys, I know I was really excited to get this palette. And to be honest with you guys, if you can see, I've only used this palette once. It's just not a very inspiring palette to me. I don't know why that is, but I just can't get inspired by this palette. I just feel like the shades are kind of blah to me. The smell is, it smells like peaches. But really the only colors I would probably use in this palette would be these two for transition or crease shades. Basically, that would be the only thing. And I don't grab a palette just for one shade. So 90% of the time, if there's a palette and I don't really use all the colors, the palette just is not used. And so this is one of those palettes. So like I said, I think this palette's been maybe used once or twice max. And you can see like there's no dents in these shadows at all. Mainly just I swatched a few and that's about it. And I think my son used this to do a, when my son did my makeup. I'll try to find that card and put it up here. It's pretty hilarious. This is the palette, and these are the shades I think he used on my eyes, and yeah, it was pretty funny. But you guys, the palette is, it's okay. It's just, like I said, not very inspiring as far as the shade range wise. It's not inspiring. The colors do not scream a peach palette to me. I mean, because you have shades like this in there. You have a lot of purples. You have like these colors. And it's just not a peachy palette to me. And so this is not by any means a palette I grab for. They don't call out to me. They're not very peachy. The smell is fine. But yeah, I don't reach for this palette. It's not a palette I would bring on a trip. It's not a palette I would put in my purse. And I do find that it opens pretty easy. So to me, it's one of the worst palettes made in 2017. That's just my personal opinion. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. So that is definitely a no-go for me. The absolute, I feel like hands down, like worst palette in 2017 might be a shocker to some people and it might not be to others. But as a YouTuber, I don't know, to put my name on something, I would just really have to love the palette. And this palette right here was designed by a YouTuber, and I'm just like so disappointed with this palette. And it's this palette right here. I'm sorry if you're a huge fan of Melissa Michelle. I'm sure she's a great YouTuber. Obviously she has to be able to come up with, you know, a makeup palette from Ulta, but I personally do not love this palette at all. I think it's the absolute worst pigmentation palette of 2017. I think the colors are off. I think if you want to get this palette for somebody maybe 13 who's just playing with makeup, then yeah, get it. But if you want like a look like I'm wearing today, like a pigmented look, this is not the palette for you. This is very immature palette. When I see this palette, I think of a kid. I think of something that you would play with as a child or a preteen or maybe a really young teen, but it's not something that you're going to be able to create glamorous looks like I'm wearing today. And that is my honest YouTuber opinion. So this is what the palette looks like. It's Ulta carries this, or it was, I'm sure it was a limited edition palette. But yeah, it's a no-go. It was like the worst, I think, palette of 2017, and I feel like a lot of people did not talk about this palette, and I think the reason why they didn't is because it was such a piece of crap. You know, it's made of cardboard, which I do not mind that. It does have a mirror. I can appreciate a mirror. And it says, can't wait to see your looks, hashtag Melissa Michelle. X Ulta, and I think that's super cute of her to do that. But these shades are not pigmented at all, you guys. I will swatch. That is a blush, you guys. And she is super tan, so I don't really understand, like, why she would make a palette that is not pigmented, because, I mean, her herself is tan, so, like, that is the blush right there, okay? This is the highlights. Like that. You can barely see the highlight. You can't even see it really. Then you've got these shadows right here. They're just like, you can see they're just like very faint. And then they're just like, they just blend out. Like, wipe them off with your hands and they're gone. That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like if you have a 13-year-old who's just now playing with makeup, this would be perfect for her. And it comes with this lipstick that is super, like, sheer. It's just like a gloss. And that's why I think this would be a good palette for a kid, but not for a woman who wants to be glamorous. Like, I try to come up with, you know, glamorous looks. I'm not going to play with something like this that's not going to build and be very pretty. Like I said, I'm not impressed with the highlighter or the blush or any of the shadows. Honestly, I don't like any of these. I think you would think I would like this palette because it's warm tones, but honestly, you really have to build and build and build, and it's just not worth the time. I mean, it's $20-something palette. And honestly, there's a lot of drugstore palettes out there now that are better. Colourpop. Oh my god. Colourpop is amazing. If you want, right now they're having, their palettes for like half off. You should definitely check out Colourpop. You can get a full glam pigmented look with any of their shadows. And a lot of their palettes are like half off. And the one that I just did a review on, I'll put that card up here, that palette is $12.80. This palette was $20-something. So I'm just letting you guys, I'm kind of comparing and showing you guys, this is a piece of crap. This is like not very well made. I feel like it's very childish. It's just not pigmented at all. It's a waste of money. I mean, a lot of people, you know, $20 is a lot. You know what I mean? Like, you want to put your $20 to good use. This is not the palette to do it with. That's my personal opinion. Sorry if, you know, hopefully you don't take offense to that. Now let's talk about palettes of 2017 that were amazeballs. There was so many good palettes this year, you guys. Or this year. No, last year. In 2017, there were so many amazing palettes. Let's talk about the Mac Daddy of Mac Daddy palettes. And you guys know, if you've been watching my channel for a while, well, This right here was talked about a lot on my channel in 2017. I still stand by this palette. I still recommend this palette to you guys. If you're looking for a very pigmented palette, a very warm tone palette, this has got some gorgeous, gorgeous colors in it. I still love this palette. It's the Urban Decay Naked Heat palette. I would highly, highly recommend this palette. It is a palette on the pricier side, but I feel like that this palette is worth the money, you guys. You get a brush, you get a mirror. It's just you get mattes, you get shimmers. I mean, I just can't even, like, the shimmers are just so, like, gorgeous. Like, they blow me away every time I look at these shimmers. Those are the shimmers, and they're just like, I'll try to swatch them, you guys, but the shimmers are like freaking awesome. There's one, there's two, there's another shimmer, and there's another shimmer. And you guys, those shimmers, that's what you call a palette. That is what pigmentation is all about, guys. That is what pigmentation is all about. And those are just the shimmers, okay? Those are just the shimmers. I'm not going to be able to get that color off, am I? So yeah, and the mattes are even more pigmented, if that is possible. So I would highly recommend this palette. It is my baby of 2017. So yeah, so I'm going to try to move everything over. I'm running out of room up here. Okay, so another palette of 2017 that I have to talk about, you guys, because this palette made me so happy. Because I was so upset with Too Faced, but I'm fine. They came out with this, and they made everything better. Too Faced, you did a great job. This is a peach palette. This is not a peach palette, you guys. This is not peachy colors. These are peachy colors. You guys, I will find that video that I did reviewing this product or doing a get ready or something with me. I'll put the card up here or at the end of the video. Check it out. These colors are gorgeous. If you really love peach matte colors, these are all mattes. All mattes. There's no shimmers in this palette. So I did a comparison video of all three of the palettes I'm going to be talking about for 2017. If you want to see that review, I will find that and link it for you. But these palettes are all warm tones. They're all gorgeous peachy tones. They're matte. This is what you want in a peach palette, guys. The peach is not overwhelming. It does not smell fake. This one smells very fake and very overwhelming. This one is more light. You can still smell peaches, but it's super light. And like, okay, peach sangria just blown me away. Just ripe. Look at those colors. My favorite one, peach punch. Look at that color. Peach punch. And then peach picked. Guys, these are what you should find in a peach palette. You know what I'm saying? Like, these are the colors that you want in a peach palette. Those are the colors. I'll try to swipe them real quick if I can do it without getting on my shirt. Okay, let's see what we can do. Let's see what we can do here. Okay, I'm just going to swatch them really quick. These are the colors you want in a peach palette. Let's see. Boom. Okay. That was a really weird swatch, but those are the colors you want in a peach palette. You know what I'm saying? Not the first palette. This palette sucks. This palette is amazing. So, and also this palette is pretty affordable for a really good palette. It is $45, which I know it sounds pricey, but this is an amazing palette, so it's totally worth the $45. And I don't really think you can duplicate this palette. It's just got really unique colors. So yeah, and they're pretty pigmented. They stay on pretty well. So I did a whole, like, what do you call it, like, comparison video of the Urban Decay Naked Heat, the Too Faced Just Peachy Mattes, and another favorite of 2017 was the Tarte Toasted Palette. Also, I did a video of all three of these, comparing them, swatching them, all that. If you want to see that video, I will put it up here, put it at the end of the video. I will link it for you guys. This palette is amazing for 2017. It was such a great, great palette, you guys. It smells like vanilla. It's not overpowering. The mirror is huge. You get some really pretty warm looks. I love this crackle color. It's got a sparkle overlay, which will obviously eventually will come off, and then you will have just a matte. But it's super, super, super pretty. You see that? They're so pigmented. Also, I just did a video on this, comparing it to another favorite of 2017, and we'll talk about that one now. And that is the Colourpop Double Entendre. I love this palette. I just did a video comparing these two. I think they're an actual dupe. Right now, if you want to get this palette, and you cannot not afford this palette because it is $46, it's a great palette, but it's $46, and maybe you can't afford it. It's after the holidays. You're kind of low on cash. Girl, I know. I feel you. I know how it is, okay? My husband's birthday, all my kids' birthdays are in January and February. My brother's birthday's in February, so I know that after the holidays, you have to pay for everything, and then you're broke. This palette is on sale right here for $12.80. I will put the link down below. Definitely check it out. It is an amazing, amazing palette, you guys. I'm telling you, these shadows are exactly like the Tarte Toasted palette. They're such a dupe. If anything, if I had to choose out of all my palettes, two palettes that are more alike than anything, it would definitely be these two palettes. I feel like they're exactly alike, you guys. Exactly alike. Their pigmentation, their staying power, it's all gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous colors. I definitely recommend going to Colourpop's website and checking out this palette. Again, I will leave the link down below. Check out my video if you haven't seen it, doing a comparison video of these two. They're amazing. They're the best of 2017 palettes. And this palette, again, is only $12.80 right now. So I would highly recommend picking this palette up if you love warm colors and you didn't get to get your hands on this for Christmas, and you're broke and you really want to try a good palette. I would highly recommend getting this Colourpop palette. Definitely, and this is the name of it, Double Entendre. I feel like I'm always saying that wrong, but oh well. Okay, and then I have two more palettes for 2017 that I think deserve a honorable mention or a shout out, because I think they're very good palettes. Obviously, one of them is the Jaclyn Hill Morphe palette. I think this palette is so versatile. You can do so many looks with this palette. You can do neutral looks. You can do very glam looks like I'm doing today. This is not what I'm wearing today, but you can do like gorgeous, gorgeous looks with this palette. You have all these gorgeous shades. You have shimmers, you have mattes, you have greens, you have golds, you have reds, you have mauves, you have cool tones, you have warm tones, you have shimmers, you have mattes, sparkles, and you can do so many looks. Like, I've come up with a couple of looks, and they're just they're huge, very large pans. Like, the pan shades or the pan size are huge, and then so you get a lot of shadow in this palette, and you get so many colors. So just imagine like all the looks that you could come up with. If you only had to have one palette, this would be a really good palette to start off with, because let's say you're just now starting a YouTube channel and you want a palette that you can come up with a lot of tutorials or a lot of looks. This would be a great first palette, a great YouTube palette to start your channel with, because you can really do a lot of looks with this palette. Like I said, there's so many shimmers and mattes and gorgeous warm tones, cool tones. Doesn't matter what you like, what skin tone you are, you're going to love this palette. highly recommend it. It's very affordable for a large palette. I think it's extremely pigmented. And I believe it's $38 US. And I got mine at ULTA, but you can get it, I'm sure you can get it on the Morphe website still. I'm not sure. This is my first ever Morphe product. I'm not really big on the whole, you know, let's do what everybody else is doing type thing. But I will say, this is my first time to try Morphe, and if they're anything like this palette, I think their quality is really good. I really like the packaging. I like that the names are all on the back. It doesn't have that little paper that you lose. And I think it's a really good palette. Like I said, if you're starting out in makeup, if you're starting out a YouTube channel and you just want to come up with a lot of looks, or maybe you don't have a lot of money and this is $38, you're going to get a lot of looks out of this palette. Anyway, this is a great palette of 2017. I did want to mention this palette. And then I have another palette actually that I have in several colors. I don't know if I have them with me. I just have one of them with me, so I'll just talk about it. But it counts for all of them. And this is Drugstore. So, like I said, if you're on a budget and you're looking for a very pigmented palette, I do want to mention these. These are really pigmented. And that is the Maybelline, the City Mini Palettes. I do own this in every single color. And I do want to show you, these are super pigmented. This one is the Rooftop Bronzes, but I do own this in all the colors. And I think for a drugstore little shadow pack, a little eyeshadow pack, I think they're super pigmented. This is what the Rooftop Bronzes look like, and I will kind of swatch them for you. I mean, seriously, this is drugstore, people. Drugstore. Okay? This is drugstore. I'm going to swatch a couple of the colors. I just think these colors are gorgeous. And all their City Mini palettes are extremely pigmented. And I'm going to swatch them and show you really quick. Get a lot of shimmers. Okay, so I just stuck my finger in there, but I just swatched them all, right? You see them? So they're all extremely shimmery and pigmented. So yeah, I totally think that the Maybelline City Mini palettes are worth checking out. Like I said, this is the Rooftop Bronze, and I just really love like warm tones, so that's why I picked this one up. But I also have all the other colors, and I really do think that they're all really pigmented. For a drugstore, I think this is really good. I can't remember how much they are, but I know they can't be, pretty sure they're less than $10. So if you're on a really cheap budget, you might want to try this. But like I said, right now you can get the Colourpop right here, the one that I just did a video on. You can get this for $12.80, and you see how huge it is. Pretty big palette, $12.80, and this is probably like $7.99, $8.99, something like that. And like I said, you do get all these warm tones. They're very pigmented. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I know I had a lot of subscribers ask me to do the best and the worst palettes of 2017, and those are my opinions, you guys. Just my opinions. So if you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up. If you have any more best and worst, or any videos you want me to do for this new year, please comment and leave them down below. I want to say you are my peoples, and I love you to pieces. Bye guys. See ya.